experimental in monkeys. So it is one of the products that were actually engineered a long time ago when we were just starting the 20th century. So that is the history of vitamin B9. So I want us to look at what this wonderful product can be able to do in terms of helping us maintaining our health. So what does vitamin B9 do? So number one, vitamin B9 is essential for DNA and cell production. Vitamin B9 is essential for the body cell growth and development. Our bodies needs it for the synthesis, repair, and methylation of DNA. So it's a very important vitamin for our body. So folate helps to form DNA and RNA and is involved in protein metabolism. So it's a key ingredient in how our cells process DNA and RNA. So when we don't have enough of this particular vitamin, then we want to now probably talk of a life that now going back to the genetic ingredient of our cells is going to be altered. That may result in some things, probably in terms of cancer and any other thing. So this is a very important vitamin in terms of the formation of our DNA and RNA. Let's look at the second thing that this particular vitamin does to our bodies. Vitamin B9 also aids in red blood cells formation. Red blood cells start as stem cells in the bone marrow. I think we all are aware of that. As red blood cells develop, they enter the bloodstream and carry oxygen to all of the organs and tissues in the body. So they play a very important role in terms of transport of nutrients and oxygen. So vitamin B9 is actually a nutrient that is essential for the development of healthy red blood cells. When your body doesn't have enough vitamin D, your bone marrow produces unusually large red blood cells called megaloblasts. So because these megaloblasts are large, they may not make it out of the bone marrow and also in the bloodstream. Even the ones that actually get out of the bone marrow, they usually don't live long. Most of the time, they die. So when this happens, then the number of red blood cells you have will always reduce, causing anemia. And this type of anemia is what we call megaloblastic anemia. So we've seen that B9 here is essential in terms of the production of the red blood cells that are carriers of nutrients and oxygen to the organ in our body. Number three, vitamin B9 aids in fetal development, the development of the fetus in the womb. So folic acid prevents conditions such as spina bifida and anencephaly. We'll look at them in detail so that we understand. And we are told that folic acid also supports brain and spinal cord development in early pregnancy. So let's look at the first one, where it prevents spina bifida and anencephaly. So folic acid is essential for the development of the neural tube in the first 4 weeks of pregnancy. So when a lady or a woman is pregnant, then this folic acid is required in the first month of pregnancy. But most of the time, women just realize they are pregnant after probably a month or a month and a half or two. So they miss to get this particular folic acid, vitamin B9 in their system. And we've talked about it is very essential in the development of the neural tube. So the neural tube here is is both the developing mind of the baby and the spinal cord. That is what we call the neural tube. So it's very essential that this mother gets this particular folic acid in the first 4 weeks of that pregnancy. So because most women are unaware of their pregnancy during this critical window and might not take the recommended intake of folic acid, health providers usually, they generally only prescribe prenatal vitamin supplements when the pregnancy is discovered. So typically after the fourth completed week of gestation, at which point it is too late to prevent these conditions called spina bifida and anencephaly. So that is some information that we really need to get clearly. Spina bifida and anencephaly are the common neural tube defects, the birth defects of the brain and the spine. So I want to point out that this condition called anencephaly is usually very fatal and sometimes results in stillbirth. And open spina bifida is usually treatable but not curable. So, and both of them are just associated with increased risk of child mortality. So many individuals living with spina bifida suffer permanent disability and chronic physical and psychological health complications. So sometimes I think this is something that we've come across in the field. You meet a mother who has a child or an infant, a baby that cannot be able to sit, they cannot be able to hold their neck straight, you know, they have development milestones. They cannot walk. You may find that the child is 2 years, but still they cannot be able to sit upright. So these are some of the conditions that result from a mother lacking folic acid during this vital time of growth of the fetus in the womb. So it's very important to note that we have other neural tube defects, but the two main ones are spina bifida and anencephaly. We have another one called anencephaly, and that one is also very deadly. Is not usually very common, but we have to understand that when we don't have folic acid, then right from the birth of the baby, things can go really bad. So according to CDC, folic acid is the only form of vitamin B9 that is proven to reduce the risk of neural tube defects in fetuses. And for this reason, actually, people who are pregnant or trying to conceive need to take folic acid almost on a daily basis. We'll be able to know how much they're supposed to take. Folic acid also supports brain and spinal cord development in early pregnancy. Research suggests that folic acid also plays a vital role in enhancing the child's brain development. So you can see it's very important in the early development time of the baby. So this one will lead to improved cognitive and behavioral outcomes. And, scientists also believe that folic acid supports fetal brain growth through several mechanisms. One, we have what we call neurogenesis that also helps to create new brain cells, particularly in areas responsible for learning and memory. We have what we call myelination. It aids in the formation of myelin, the protective layer around the nerve cells. I think we talked about this when we were talking about the condition that was affecting the MS, that was affecting the nerve cells, and then also improves communication between the neurons. And then we have the neurotransmitter production. This one also contributes to the production of essential chemicals like serotonin. We have dopamine that regulate mood and cognition. So that is the third major importance of vitamin B9, that is the fetal development. Let's look at the fourth one. It supports heart and brain health. Folic acid plays a central role in controlling homocysteine levels by supporting its conversion into harmless and useful compounds. So here we have a lot of things going on. We have what we call homocysteine. So homocysteine is actually an amino acid that is produced in the body when protein is broken down. So what happens when proteins are broken down? We produce what we call homocysteine. Now, homocysteine, when it accumulates in the body, it brings some problems. So that is where now folic acid comes to play. So when the homocysteine levels are elevated, there is a risk of developing cardiovascular diseases, even in people with normal cholesterol. So we need to understand that. So once the breakdown of protein happens, homocysteine levels, homocysteine, this amino acid called homocysteine is produced. And when it's produced constantly and it's not neutralized, what happens that is just to affect the blood capillaries, it damages the blood capillaries, it worsens, it interferes with clotting factors. So what happens then? To reduce these effects that may cause issues with elevated blood pressure and strain to the heart and poor blood flow because of the rising levels of homocysteine. When what we call vitamin B9 is introduced or is available in the body, then it disrupts the rising levels of homocysteine. So when this one is disrupted, then the homocysteine can be able to, be converted back to methionine, which is now just a compound that is safe and can be reused, which is just a harmless amino acid. So that is what actually happens when now we have B9 coming in. It neutralizes the high levels of homocysteine. And this homocysteine, we have learned that it creates a lot of problems in the arteries, causing plaque formation and disrupting blood clotting. So when folic acid is introduced, then now it can convert homocysteine back to a safe and reusable amino acid called methionine. So folic acid then becomes a support for health of the heart and also for the health of our brain. We want to look at the foods that are rich in vitamin B9. Folic acid is present in most of the foods that we are eating. Folate and folic acid present in most of the foods that we usually eat. Now, these foods include vegetables. For instance, we have what we call asparagus, as you can be able to see. We have Brussels sprouts, and then we have dark green leafy vegetables such as spinach and also mustard greens. We have vitamin B9 also in fruits and fruit juices like oranges and orange juice. It's also available in beef liver. We have it in nuts such as walnuts. And then it's also available in beans and peas such as kidney beans and black-eyed peas. And remember, I also said initially when I was starting that you can also get folic acid by eating foods fortified with folic acid. So there are companies that are fortifying breads and fortified probably maize meals with folic acid. These foods include the enriched bread, flours, we have pastas, we have rice, we have cornmeal, and then we also have some fortified breakfast cereals. So WHO has really made sure that as far as folic acid is concerned, if you are not aware you are getting it, even eating bread, you can be able to get folic acid. So this folate and folic acid are available so much in whatever we eat on a daily basis. So that leaves us with a small balance where we need to really take care of. Now, I want us to look at briefly what we call a folate deficiency. One of the most common causes of folate deficiency is not eating a healthy, balanced diet. So, because it's available naturally. So, if you're not getting it in your diet, you're going to suffer a deficiency. A healthy diet includes foods that naturally contain folic or are enriched with folic acid. So, folate deficiency is rare because it is found in a wide range of foods. However, the following conditions may put people at a risk of folate deficiency. So you can be able to see we have number one, we have alcoholism. So alcoholism, here, the people who drink alcohol, you need to know that alcohol interferes with the absorption of folate and it speeds up the rate at which folate breaks down and is excreted from the body. So people with alcoholism tend to eat poor quality diets, low in folate containing foods. Most of the time you find an alcoholic would rather drink alcohol and not eat food. So when they are doing that, they miss on a lot of foods that can be able to give them folate. So it predisposes them to risk of folate deficiency. So you get to know that if you are consuming alcohol, then you need to now supplement with vitamin B9 to be able to stabilize your B9 levels. Number two, we are talking about pregnancy also as a risk factor. The people, or I mean the women who are pregnant, they need folate so much during pregnancy. And as we've seen, folate plays a very important role in development of the cells in the fetus, mainly the neural tube. So when a lady is pregnant, it means the demand for folate in her body increases. So if they don't get it in their diet, they will suffer a deficiency. And deficiency is not a good sign, is not a good precursor, as we've seen earlier on, in terms of preventing you giving birth to a stillborn, or giving birth to a baby that is physically and psychologically disabled. So pregnancy will cause a deficiency if during the pregnancy the mother doesn't get enough folate, either from the food or from the folic acid that she's supposed to take. Then we have another cause for this deficiency. We are talking about intestinal surgeries or digestive disorders that can cause malabsorption. So we have diseases like celiac disease and inflammatory bowel disease, that is IBD. This one can decrease the absorption of folate. When you suffer from these conditions, the people suffering from these conditions, actually, they have a decreased level of absorption of folate from the diet. And sometimes even people who have surgeries in the digestive organs or any part of their GIT, that may reduce the normal level of acid that may interfere with absorption of folic acid. So it's very important to note that when you have any condition that affects your digestive path, you have a disease, either be it celiac or IBD, or you have been operated, or you have issues to do with ulcers, right? So it means when you don't have enough stomach acid, then absorption of whatever you are eating, be it food that has folate, then your body cannot be able to pick up folate from the foods. So that one can also predispose you to have what we call folate deficiency. We are talking about overcooking. Sometimes we overcook our fruits and vegetables. When you overcook, the heat can destroy the naturally occurring folate in your produce. So when you don't supplement and you are relying on folate from nature, from your natural produce, then it means if you overcook, you are destroying it. And we've talked about folic acid being the only stable synthesized form of B9 that can withstand heat, right? So it means if you get your folate and overheat it, then you miss it. When you miss it, you need to supplement. So overcooking will make you not get your folate from vegetables. Then we have hemolytic anemia. Hemolytic anemia is a blood disorder that occurs actually when your red blood cells are destroyed and can't be replaced fast enough. So remember we talked about the red blood cells being produced from the bone marrow. So if you have this particular anemia, your blood cells, because they are being destroyed very fast, if you don't have folic acid to mature the red blood cells from the bone marrow, then it means you are going to suffer a deficiency at the end of the day. So it's very important that the what we call the folic acid you supplement, so that when this disorder, somebody suffering from this disorder, then blood can be replaced, right? So that one can also predispose somebody to what we call the folate deficiency. So it's very important. We have certain medical conditions, like people having this condition is called epilepsy. They use probably anti-seizure drugs. People who have ulcers use ulcer drugs. So most of the time, these drugs have been found to interfere with the proper absorption of folate. So it's also very important to note that there are certain medications that when you are using, it will affect the level of folate in your body. So that one can also result into what we call a folate deficiency. Then we have people on kidney dialysis. Kidney dialysis is basically a treatment for people with kidney failure. I hope we know that. And because folic acid is a water-soluble vitamin, folic acid or B9 is water-soluble. Hemodialysis, what happens during dialysis actually removes it from the body. So it is wasted very fast during that process of treatment of kidney dialysis. So it's important that people who have issues to do with their kidneys and they are on kidney treatment, we call kidney dialysis, they may most of the time lose a lot of folic acid, and this may result into what we call a deficiency. And then we have genetic variants. We have people carrying a variant of a gene called methylene tetrahydrofolate reductase. This gene cannot convert folate to its active form to be used by the body. So people who have a variant of this gene,
always are predisposed to a place where now the folate that they have cannot be converted to an active form that can be utilized. So when the body now fails to convert this folate into its active form, what happens is that it leads to elevated levels of what the amino acid we talked about, the homocysteine in the blood, as we learned earlier. So when that happens, then it means the other issues to do with pressure and clogging of arteries happen. So people having this variant gene also are usually predisposed to what we call folate deficiency, because it's very important that folate be converted into something that can be able to be utilized by the body. So let us move and look at the folate deficiency symptoms. Folate deficiency occurs when there is not enough folate present in the body. That one we already know. And folate deficiency can cause a wide range of symptoms. And this may include megaloblastic anemia. We've talked about megaloblastic anemia. Megaloblastic anemia is, the larger red blood cells that are produced by the bone marrow when folic acid is not available. So somebody will develop that anemia. And then we have muscle weakness and fatigue. So people who have a deficiency of folate usually experience a lot of fatigue and muscle weakness. So when you talk to your client and they talk about they are tired most of the time, then you also want to find out if they may be having issues to do with folate deficiency. And then we have people having difficulty in concentrating. They cannot be able to think straight. They keep on forgetting, issues to do with, the mind. So if somebody is just not in a position to collect their mind together, then you also want to classify that as possibility of folate deficiency. We have people who suffer hair loss. I know we've met such kind of people in the field. People having pale skin. Pale skin majorly may be as a result of anemia. And we've seen where now lack of folic acid may lead to anemia. So when somebody has a pale skin, they may be anemic, and it may be a pointer that they are missing folic acid or folate. Then we have what we call paresthesia. Paresthesia is basically, you feel like somebody is pricking you with pins and needles all over your body. Yeah, so when somebody has that feeling, we want to also classify it under one of the symptoms of folate deficiency. Having a red or sore tongue. These are things that can be able to be seen even if you are having a client. People experiencing mouth sores and ulcers. We have people also suffering from vision problems. And then we have people who are depressed and sometimes confused. Sometimes others also they present with a lot of headaches every now and then. So it's important to note that folate deficiency usually occur alongside other nutritional deficiencies, like even B12 or iron deficiency. So people may also have symptoms of other conditions as well, because it's not clear. You cannot clearly cut out this is this and this is the other, because sometimes it's a mix of so many vitamins probably in the body. So those are some of the things that can point us that somebody experiencing what we call folate deficiency. So how much vitamin B9 do we need? Let's look at the recommended dietary allowance for folate. This one is also usually listed in micrograms, and we have the recommended dietary allowance that is for children 1 to 8 years. It's somewhere between 150 and 200 micrograms. Adolescents, that is of between ages 9 and 18, they need between 300 and 400 micrograms. And then we have adults, that is of ages 19 and older. They should aim for 400 micrograms per day. And then we have pregnant and lactating women. We can be able to see, and also people who regularly drink alcohol, their numbers are a little bit up. So pregnant women need 600 micrograms. And then we have lactating women requiring 50 micrograms. And then we have the people who regularly drink alcohol at the same place with pregnant women. They need also more. That is 600 micrograms per day. Because we understand that alcohol also, wastes a lot of folic acid from the people who drink, and it's important that they need more of it. So the tolerable upper level, the maximum daily dose that any person can use in a day is usually set at 1,000 micrograms a day, and it's not supposed to pass that. That is for the adults. So this figure is not including the ones you are getting from food. So if you have to get more of it, it has to be capped at 1,000 micrograms per day. That is the recommended tolerable upper limit. After that, it becomes toxic to the system. So I want us to look at health benefits of blueberry, and we will talk about why we are talking about blueberry at this point. Blueberry is a great supporter of cardiovascular health. We are all aware of that. Blueberry anthocyanins are potent flavonoids which have been extensively studied for their cardiovascular benefits. So they work to improve endothelial function. Number one. Number two, blueberry also acts to reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. Number three, blueberry lowers LDL cholesterol, that is a bad cholesterol, and prevents plaque buildup. Number four, blueberry improves blood lipid profiles. Number five, blueberry also supports healthy blood pressure. So it is very important. I think we've been taught about blueberry a number of times. So we need to remind ourselves. The reason why we are reminding ourselves of blueberry when we are talking about B9, you'll be able to understand in the next few slides. So just a recap on the health benefits of high potency vitamin B9, and there is a reason why we term it as high potency vitamin B9. Greenwald high potency vitamin B9 delivers what we call synergistic 1+1 greater than 2 benefits. So something synergistic is two or more components working together. So the reason why I talked about blueberry in the past slide is that this high potency vitamin B9 has B9 and blueberry infused together, right? So that is what makes it high potency now. We are not just talking about vitamin B9, we are talking about a package of two components here, vitamin B9 and a very powerful food called blueberry. So that is what now, that is where now we have that high potency. So it means having B9 and blueberry coming together in one product called high potency vitamin B9, it produces an effect that supersedes the individual action of B9 and the individual action of blueberry. So it brings a greater benefit together. That is why now we term it as high potency. So each capsule actually combines, that is each capsule for this high potency vitamin B9. It combines 400 micrograms of folic acid with 10 micrograms of premium blueberry extract. So this powerful dual action formula now and produces a product that enhances great health support in terms of now marrying the two. So this high potency vitamin B9, it supports healthy red blood cells production. We've talked about that. This is just a recap. It protects vascular endothelium. That is now it slows the arterial stiffness and maintains optimal blood vessel elasticity. It reduces homocysteine levels. We've talked about that. It minimizes blood vessels damage and lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease. And then we have the number 4, it prevents pinna bifida. It reduces the incidence of this condition during the development of the neural tube of the fetus. So the mixture of vitamin B9 and the blueberry now gives us a product that works wonders. This science-backed formulation ensures greater efficacy than standalone ingredients. So this is a truly smarter approach to wellness. So we give thumbs up to Greenwald because now we are not talking about vitamin B9. We are talking about high potency vitamin B9. So when you talk to your clients about this product, let them know that it's not just the normal B9 that they know. It's been reinforced and now it delivers great health benefits than just the standalone products when they are not mixed together. So who are supposed to take vitamin B9? This is a market for you now because once we go through all this, then now you can be able to know where to, what is the market? Where are you going to sell this product? Who are the clients that you are looking for that can be able to consume this product? So we have women who want to get pregnant, the people who are planning for pregnancy. It's very important. So even for women who plan for pregnancy, they need to start taking vitamin B9 or even folic acid a month before they conceive. That is a sure market. Then we have individuals with megaloblastic anemia. We've talked about that anemia. And then we have individuals with hypertension, people who have high blood pressure and suffer cardiovascular diseases. This is a market, right? So you need to know who to target with this B9. Then we have those who should not take vitamin B9. And why are we saying they don't need to take vitamin B9? So this list of people here, the people who suffer these conditions to the right, the down right, they need to speak or even seek a doctor's advice before taking folic acid. The people who are epileptic, the people who are suffering type 2 diabetes, we have people who have rheumatoid arthritis, people suffering from lupus, we have IBD and celiac disease. The four last ones are autoimmune diseases. right? So we are told that certain medications that are used to treat these conditions that I've listed here under the people who are not supposed to take vitamin B9, some of the medications they use interact with the folate. So when that interaction happens with folate, the medication they are using and the folate they want to supplement, that reaction, that interaction may also limit the use of the products that they're using from the hospital. So you need to find out so that you advise your client and also support them well because of that interaction. So we are not saying that per se they are supposed to be taken off, but because they are using some products that may interact with folate, then you need to advise accordingly. So they need to seek a doctor's advice before they can be able to use folic acid because of that interaction. As we finish, I talked about 1+1. You can be able to see 1+1 is greater than 2. As usual, we usually know that 1+1 is equal to 2. But now we are talking about 1+1 here in high potency vitamin B9 as greater than 2. Because now when we mix vitamin B9 and we link it up with the blueberry, then the effect of that merging is a greater product than the individual products. That is why we talk about 1+1 is greater than 2. So the recommended daily health maintenance, 1 capsule per day. If you're just using it for daily maintenance or even prevention, just need 1 capsule per day. So this capsule, the B9 capsule, is 500 milligrams, and that bottle contains 60 capsules. So you need to know that. So for daily maintenance, just need 1 capsule per day. And then for people who have neural tube, for the prevention of neural tube defects, you need 1 to 2 capsules per day. That is now for the pregnant mothers, because they are the people who need that to prevent the baby from developing those problems. And then we have people who suffer from megaloblastic anemia. They need 8 capsules per day. And then we have people who are managing higher levels of homocysteine. That is now they require 5 capsules per day. So that is the dosage that is required. So as I finish, I want to touch on something small in terms of diagnostic issues and also tests. So how is folate deficiency diagnosed? Most of the time, what is done is the health provider will ask you about your medical history and the symptoms we've talked about. So they want to get to know if you may be suffering from folate deficiency. And then they can also do what we call a blood test, just to you measure the levels of amount of folate in your blood. So a low level will be an indication of a deficiency. So treatment here is very simple. Your health provider will treat whatever deficiency you have, that is the folate deficiency or folic, or folate deficiency with a supplement, like what we are talking about, vitamin B9. So then again, the healthcare provider will also advise you on how to eat. We've talked about foods that can be able to help you, get folate naturally. So they will give you an option of supplements and also, advise you on how you are supposed to get your folate from the diet. Get it from your vegetables, get them from your fruits, right? And then what do you expect? Because it's a deficiency. Of course, when you start taking your folate and you increase your levels, if you have a deficiency, then mostly, these symptoms will just reverse. So what is important is just get enough foods. If you've been diagnosed with low levels, this one you can get directly from, you can be diagnosed at the hospital if you are, you know, probably suspecting that you have folate deficiency, just go for a test. It's a simple test, a blood test. They'll be able to get to know your levels, and then you can be able to get a supplement or now get it from your diet in a proper way. So the only way to prevent folate deficiency, the only way to prevent it is get your diet right. Eat a healthy diet that contains folate, and I will be able to repeat again the foods that you need to get. Peas, we have beans, we have legumes, we have citrus fruits, dark green leafy vegetables. Eat your liver, get your seafood right, eat eggs, consume dairy. You get it from meat, you get it from poultry. You also have it from enriched and fortified bread. You get it from flour, pasta, rice, cereal. So get your foods right. You'll be able to prevent this. If you can't get it from food, then the sure option is now the supplement, which is now stable enough. Folic acid is very stable. And all of these are actually taken well by the body. But now we have, as I started, I said, folic acid, the supplement is taken at a higher percentage than the one you get from food. From food, you get at least 50%, but from a supplement, you get almost 85%. So I want to guess you want to consider if you have folate deficiency, then you rather also supplement once that is detected. So in summary, as I finish, maintaining a balanced diet is very essential. Point number one, incorporate plenty of leafy greens into your daily meals. These ones are a natural powerhouse of folate. Don't forget that. Opt for low-fat meals to reduce oil intake and prevent blood viscosity. And then aim for at least 150 minutes of aerobic exercise on a weekly basis. So you can be able to, probably do 30 minutes per day for 5 days. That one will be 150 minutes. Do some exercise, do some brisk walking, some jogging. This one will enhance the cardiovascular function and also improve blood circulation. Avoid alcohol at all costs because we've seen it damages a lot. It wastes our vitamin B9. So go for regular hospital checkups to monitor your blood count, monitor your folic acid levels, to monitor homocysteine levels. This one can help you, adjust your health in a proper way. So, in terms of getting these vitamins, all you can do is whatever I've talked about. Do your meals right. Get your salib supplements right. We have it from Green One. And also, do your timely checks. Those timely checks will be able to enable you get to know which direction you're supposed to take. So if you do that, then you can be able to help your client as well to do that, right? Because now we know we have a product that is of high potency, you know, you know, what can be able to aid the clients, your clients, as you meet them when they have those symptoms. They've been diagnosed with B9 deficiency. We have a product now that works double what they may get from any other company. So, Kongole Sana Green World, we are happy to have this product. I know we have learned a lot. I know you have really pointed out the market for this particular product, and we are going to actually sell. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk about this wonderful product. So protect your health, protect your blood health, and fuel your life with vitamin B9. So
that is the end of my presentation. I want to take it back to Mr. Fred. So thank you very much and may God bless you. Back to you, Mr. Fred.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Eric, for that detailed presentation about this new product. I hope that those of us who are listening, that is basically me included, have learned a thing or two about this product, about its importance, and that the information we can use to improve our health. You now know the how important B B9 is to our health, is to our health. I encourage you to try it, even as you plan to introduce it to your clients and your customers. Yeah, you should always try this product so that you have first-hand experience and testimony. You become a testimony for your own business. So thank you very much to all of you.
Mr. Fred, somebody is asking the price and the BVs for this product.
Let me just confirm that. The price is 1,575 and you get 12 BVs. The specifications are 500 mg of and there are 60 capsules, like Eric said before. So that is it about the product. Like I was saying, we have come to the end of tonight's training. Asante sana for attending. Asante sana for staying up to the end. I hope you've learned something, and I hope that something is useful for you. So I'm going to unmute all of us, and before I do that, let me welcome you to tomorrow's session, Africa Empowerment Session. We'll have one of us also presenting part of the training, and the training will be on cancer. So Madam Rainey will tackle a part of it, and then Madam Phoebe Ndeda will also tackle another part that deals with the management of cancer. So this is an important topic. We know cancer is a thorn in our flesh, affecting so many people. Most of us, if one is not affected, not infected, one is not directly sick, they at least know someone who has it. So it's something that I would encourage you to attend, and maybe if you have people that are going through this problem, you can ask them to also join. They can learn a few things about how they can manage themselves, even if they maybe they're not so sure about the products. They can learn something about how to just manage but it could also be a way of introducing them to the products. So, asante sana. I'll unmute all of you so that you can say your goodbyes and your good nights as we part. Yep, you're all unmuted. Good night, Eric.
Thank you all for your audience. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you,
Good night.
and most welcome.
Thank you, Eric.
Apostle.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Yes,
Good night.
Eric, that was fun. Good
Yes,
night.
Mwenda.
Good night. Thank you, Eric,
Good night.
for wonderful training.
Brenda, good night.
Dominic.
Welcome.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Eric.
Edna. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Miss Amela, good night. Dominic.
Stanley.
I think that was powerful.
Good night.
Samson, good night. Good night.
Asante sana. Karibu.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Naivasha, good night. Luze Kirozo, good night.
See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night. Mrs. Kadir, good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.